according to the Oxford Dictionary, is defined by the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. We have all heard the word genocide in various times in history, marking cruel events that haunt not only the group that suffered, but the whole world. The genocide of Gaza, recently recognized by the UN, has been a famous topic in media, raising various discussions in the entire world, bringing up conversation about Semitism and xenophobia, separating people in two polar groups. The use of fake news and distorted information are main characters in the debate, creating confusion on what really is the origin of this unfortunate and cruel conflict. Considering this, in this video essay, our main goal is to inform and explain the motivation behind this war, taking a trip to the past and seeing how it reflects today, understanding why the genocide of Palestinians is no longer a nightmare, but a reality. Part 1. Origin. So, to start, the only way you can judge without bias is to understand what really happened on a territory. The land, until the start of the 20th century, belonged to the former Ottoman Empire, located in the Middle East, along the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. This empire shared territory with the Jewish people and Palestinians, and after World War I, with the downfall of the empire, the land began to be administered by the United Kingdom, but was still home to these two groups. After suffering several invasions, due to the vulnerability of the territory, the Jews migrated to other countries throughout Europe, which was a major factor in the outbreak of World War II, causing its start in September 1st, 1939, and the spread of hate towards the Jewish community. Following the end of World War II, in September 2nd, 1945, and the experience of the Holocaust, England offered its territory for the Jews to live in, even though Palestine was a part of it, fueled by the idea that Judaism wasn't only a religion, but a nationality. England believed that the Jews deserved a state, and due to historic and religious connections to the region, the territory that belonged to the former Ottoman Empire became the desired place for this new country, recognizing the state of Israel and adopting Zionism, the idea that Israel has a right to conquer and recover the former parts of the Kingdom of Israel. However, the territory wasn't empty. It was home to other groups, especially Palestine. Considering this, the United Nations, UN, the new founded organization that would help mediate conflicts, entered the debate on November 29, 1947. The proposal was that the territory of Palestine would be divided in two countries, Palestine and Israel. In 3 days, Israel's ground forces had taken the Gaza Strip and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. Jordan entered the conflict to help, but was also defeated. On June 7th, the Israeli army expelled Jordanian forces from East Jerusalem and the West Bank. On the 10th, it was Syria's turn to lose the Golan Heights to Israeli troops, marking the end of the war. But considering that this new country was going to take the space that belonged to Palestine for decades, the nation didn't approve of this proposal, denying it. Still, the Israelis moved to the territory. On May 14th of 1948, the first head chief of the government of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, declared the independence of the State of Israel. This announcement was not well received, causing a commotion between Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq, where they invaded the country to prevent its creation. Israelis fought back, and at the end, they occupied more than was proposed by UN, forcing more than 700,000 Palestinians out of their country. More than 75% of the territory was invaded by Israel. This was the first mark of the decimation of Palestine. Part 2. The War of 6 Days. With the strengthening of the Palestinian and pan-Arab resistance movements against Israel, there was an escalation in regional tension, causing attacks towards the recently created country. However, using an aggressive approach, Israel decided to fight back, causing the start of the War of 6 Days in June 5, 1967, destroying more than 90% of Egypt's aviation. The response given by UN was of shame, asking Israel to give back the territory it brutally conquered. The country, however, rejected it. The success of Israel grabbed the attention of the United States, that, after the conflict, started providing investments and be seen as an ally by the Israeli government. The USA has not only given many military resources to the country, but also vetoed the discussion of Palestine versus Israel on UN several times. From this moment on, the slow expelling of Palestinians continued, creating conflicts that harmed citizens of both countries. However, everything changed in 2023. Part 3. The Counter-Attack. On September 7th of 2023, the group that controls the Gaza Strip, known as Hamas, attacked the Israeli people, killing 1,000 people and kidnapping 200 civilians. This attack is what brought this war to the forefront of the media, as it had been out of the spotlight for all this time. This event marks the start of the genocide towards Palestine, fueling a violent combat that takes place until today, taking life of children, women, of humans. According to a special committee of the United Nations and various human rights experts and organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people during its continued blockade, invasion, and bombing of Gaza Strip as part of war in Gaza. More than 1.9 million Palestinians, 90% of Gaza's population, have been forcibly displaced. An imposed Israeli blockade has heavily contributed to the need and threat of starvation in Gaza, while some groups of Israeli civilians have blocked or attacked aid convoys, delivering humanitarian supplies across the border. At the start of the conflict, Israel cut off Gaza's water and electricity supply. Israel also destroyed several culturally significant buildings, such as all 12 of Gaza's universities, 80% of its schools, and several mosques, churches, museums, and libraries. Israel's ground and air campaign in Gaza has killed about 60 to 122 people. The majority of the victims are civilians, of whom at least 50% are women and children. Compared to other recent global conflicts, the known number of deaths of journalists, aid and healthcare workers, and children is among the highest. How can one that suffered so much cause this much suffering to others? How can one fuel this much hate and damage to people who had lives, homes, dreams, and hopes? These questions remain unanswered as the bombing, the murdering, and invasion continues. These questions remain unanswered as Israel's government shows the intent of destroying the population of Gaza. These questions remain unanswered as the decimation of Palestine continues until today.